ladies and gentlemen, what's going on? Once again, I'm Nev from Nev's Tech Bits. Today I want to talk about Bitcoin futures and Bitcoin going mainstream because of it. Alright, so Bitcoin is entering the futures market. There's a place in Chicago that is going to be putting Bitcoin up as a future. Now, futures you can have in oil, gas, beans, anything. Now, if you put something into the futures market, it means you can bet against it or you can bet for it. Now, this is awesome because you can be investing in Bitcoin without actually having to have a wallet, without having to worry about being hacked. And you can also invest against it if you don't think it's a good idea. A lot of people are on one side or the other, but personally I believe that the intrinsic value of anything is only what people are willing to pay for it. See the stuff behind me? These collectibles are only worth as much as people will pay for it. This particular Ghostbusters thing overflooded the market, and I got it for about $3, $4. Anyways, everything has an intrinsic value. The dollar used to be based off of the gold standard, and these days nobody can tell me perfectly exactly what a dollar is based off of it, but from what I understand, a dollar these days is based off things like the NASDAQ and your country's output. So it's basically based off how good your top corporations are doing. So there's a bit of a folly there because it's more gooder to invest in a corporation than it is to invest in the people within the country. Now, another thing is that a corporation is basically a person. A corporation can be held accountable as a person, but it can't be incarcerated. And so it's not good to incarcerate a corporation because you'll be hurting the country itself. But it's okay to incarcerate everybody that's within the country because incarcerating them helps the corporations because corporations incarcerate people. Yes, that's right. There are jails in the USA that are there that are not owned by the U.S. government. The U.S. government sends people into them. But anyways, let's talk about the intrinsic value of a Bitcoin. Since it's going mainstream, everybody's throwing money at it. Everybody's throwing money at it. The more people talk about Bitcoin, the more people Google Bitcoin, the more people that Google Bitcoin, literally, the higher the price goes. You can, if you've seen a broken line graph about how many people have searched for Bitcoin, you can literally pin that to the value of a Bitcoin. Now, a Bitcoin is intrinsically not meant to be mainstream. It was brought around by a gentleman named Satoshi, or a group of people using the name Satoshi around the credit crisis because they wanted to make sure that no one could manipulate anything, that no one could change anything, and everything was above board. Corporations don't like this. Governments don't like this because things can't be messed with. And things do get messed with quite a bunch, which is kind of unfortunate. You know what, if you want to start talking about financials and stuff, and if you don't know what the Federal Reserve is in the USA, I want you to explore what it is and start off with the fact that the Federal Reserve is not owned by the government. The Federal Reserve is a private institution that the government cannot enter. The government cannot get through those front doors. But yeah, you want to start talking about money, finances, and why this is a good or a bad idea, start looking at the Federal Reserve. I'm going to tell you, things are pretty messed up. So, well, for example, you can't think that the way things are going in the stock market is the way that things are going to be going in 100 years from now. Things have to change. Things get different. People are saying Bitcoin can't go up because nothing can go up indefinitely. There's a high risk. But then the banks are all like, oh, high risk, high reward. Let's be throwing all kinds of money at these startup companies. It doesn't matter how bad they do. All we need is one good one. And hey, look at Uber. Uber's doing good. But if you take a really close look at Uber, it's not doing all that good. Yeah, Silicon Valley is pretty good for themselves in that little echo chamber. But for the people working for them, like, let's face it, we've all heard examples of why it sucks to be an Uber driver. Uber drivers out there, I'm not disrespecting you. I think you're getting a bum rap. You guys are working, you guys are contractors. You deserve better, though. At the end of the day, you guys deserve better. But yeah, Bitcoin is going into the futures market, which is really cool because it's going mainstream. Going mainstream, the price is going to go up. Is it volatile as hell? Yes, it is. It's been doing really good since the start of the year. It's been up, it's been down, but I know I haven't lost any money yet. This should be interesting to see how things change. Ultimately, at the end of the day, Bitcoin is just a number on a database. At the end of the day, you can wipe your butt with a dollar bill. But you know what, let's get into that a little bit, because a lot of people are telling me that kind of stuff. Have you tried to wipe your butt with a Canadian bill? It cannot be done. It cannot be done. Okay, what else can you do with a dollar bill? You can't start a fire with it. And hey, if I'm poor, if I can't start a fire, maybe I can insulate my house with these things. You know, and any argument that you could give me for the dollar, I could give you a counter argument. Basically, at the end of the day, I believe that all of this stuff works on faith. If you don't have faith in it, if nobody has faith in a stock, the stock's going to go down. If nobody has faith in a country, the value of that money is going to be going down. And as long as people have faith, as long as people think that the price is going to go up, it's going to go up. There's other things out there the price only goes up with. Let's look at housing. Housing prices only go up. Okay, we're going to leave Michigan out of this one. Housing prices only go up, and at least from everything I've seen, except for Michigan, sorry Flint, when there is a correction, it only corrects itself 30%. And a lot of people that have a lot of money these days only have a lot of money because their grandparents, great-grandparents, great-great-grandparents, when they came over from across the pond, they got a lot of land because they were like, oh, you develop this land, you can have all this land. And there was a lot of land being given out. There was a lot of babies being born. There's a lot of stuff going on. But anyways, Bitcoin is mainstream these days. Right on. Right on. So bid for it. Bid against it. You want to have some stability in your Bitcoin investments. Definitely go with futures, because with futures you can't be hacked. You can bet against Bitcoin if you want. This isn't out yet, but the government, the agency that's bringing this out, maybe I shouldn't say agency, the group that's bringing this out never says we're going to bring something out if they're not absolutely sure it can come out of it. It definitely wasn't made to be mainstream. But here it is. Here we are. Bitcoin is no longer the dark cryptocurrency of the underbelly of the internet. Monero is. Monero is, because it's more anonymous. Bitcoin's getting cleaner these days. Bitcoin is no longer used as blood money as much. But anyways, that's it for me. Nev from Nev's Tech Bits. If you think I missed something, if you think I'm way off base, if you think I hit it right on the head, leave something in the comments. I'd really like to hear from you guys. That's it for me. Have a good one. Catch you later.